Thank you for the introduction and for the invitation. I realize we are late. We are over time, so I need to be quick. And therefore, I just want to say I think we shared today many words and many terms about new museology, new, let's say, we need new ecosystems. We got a lot of information about the struggles we all as museums have, and I called my talk a useful institution for the preservation, presentation, and development of media art. And usefulness, this is in the core, maybe, and this is maybe also something we maybe can underline and this bring it to this term where we think what is that what we are doing, what are we aiming, and what is our responsibility for. So where are we? Also, as Laura previously said, a tiny place in the middle of Germany. We are located in Karlsruhe, similar size as Linz, around 30,000 inhabitants in the southwest of Germany. And Karlsruhe is known as a place very important for Germany, as it's the seat of the Federal Constitutional Court, and that has, of course, a political significance, but also it's home of the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, the KIT. And at the KIT, what is 200 or 150 years ago, Heinrich Hertz developed in his famous Spark experiment, he proved the existence of the electromagnetic waves, which are, as we all know, fundamental for our today's information technologies. So there is a reason why the ZKM was founded in Karlsruhe 35 years ago, and I think it's also sometimes important to look back in the history of an institution and to the reasons why these institutions, maybe with this particular, let's say, ambition and scope and direction, had been founded. So when we were founded in 1809, we were founded as a media art center. The internet didn't exist at that time in the form as we know it yet. It was, of course, a place for art and technology in the widest sense. New media or media art was holography, video art, and so on. We moved on, and today we expanded, of course, our scope, and as also Ars Electronica has said, very much into, let's say, the art, the science and technology, and the society. So we are also a very hybrid and interdisciplinary institution. We are combining productions, research, exhibition and performances, collection and archives, mediations and events. We are therefore not a classic museum, but rather a research institution dedicated to the preservation, presentation, and also production of media art. And we gained in the last years, of course, through that somehow a recognition, a reputation, also due, of course, to our former artistic scientific director, Peter Weibel, who was himself a very prominent media artist and influential promoter of media art. ZKM, in short, in some numbers, we were founded in 1809. We are now since 97 located in a heritage industrial building, formerly a weapon factory. Also, we heard that military complexes play a specific role in the institution, in several institutions. So our building was at the time in 1914 when it was built, it was the world's largest weapon factory, and today it's a cultural center. So more than 13,000 square meters of exhibition space, around 150 employees. Our collection holds, around 10,000 works, but for all types of works, also paintings and drawings. But we are, of course, more known for our computer-based installations and the video installations. We do approximately 15 exhibitions a year, 120 events per year, workshops, guided tours, and we get 262,000 visitors. That's around the population of the town. At the moment, we are showing this. I do just a quick rush through that. What we are currently showing 7 exhibitions at the same time. In addition, also to a municipal gallery, which is located at the same building, and the Kunsthalle Karlsruhe with one of the best collections of old masters in Germany. And there is in the same building also a University of Arts and Design, which is amongst the best universities of media art in Germany. So it's a whole cluster. We are or cultural cluster we are embedded in. And also with this, let's say, as we are centered around media art, also Karlsruhe has been nominated as one of the UNESCO Creative Cities of media art in 2019. What we are showing at the moment, and this is a image of the Korean artist Song-wi Kim video. Let's say it's our collection, the story that never ends. Why the story never ends? It's a continuous work of restoration, preservation, and we always tell the story. If you want to do a painting exhibition, as you know, you can just open the storage, you hang it, you put away the dust. There it is. If you are working with unstable media, it's a whole bunch of problems you are facing. And this exhibition we worked with several years with our media art restorators to basically not allow the melting of our shows. This was the previous exhibition slide was an ice monitor as a comment of video art, but to bring this again to life, like here Ursula Neugebauer's installation from the 90s, let's say, also with a special approach and a special focus on female media artists, because of course we need to acknowledge that in the past also our programs was very male centered. At the same time, we are also showing more historic exhibition, Waldemar Cordeiro, Constellations from Concrete Art to Computer Art, also acknowledging that not only, we are looking to the future, but also to the past and to those who shaped the future in the past. And those were artists like Waldemar Cordeiro, who was the first computer artist in South America, coining the term arteonica, art and arteonica, which is still used for media art in South America. Also doing one of the first exhibitions about computer-based art in 1970. At the same time, we are also showing Choose Your Filter browser art since the beginning of the World Wide Web. Around 40 browser-based artworks, really also going back in the history of the internet and how artists have shaped our, let's say, this door to the internet. Browsers, which are of course mainly dominated by companies now, but in the beginning, at least with NetArt, it was a highly debated thing how to maybe shape different approaches to the internet. And also there, a lot of restoration work has gone into this exhibition. Next to that, we heard about gaming also since the foundation of the ZKM, or since we moved in our permanent building 1997. We are hosting a game exhibition. At the moment, gameplay at the next level. We are of course always updating it, and every work, and this is important because gaming has been so popular also in the arts, but often the games you see there are not playable. There are more installations or artists which are working with video games. We really try to make everything accessible, everything playable as well, but also seeing video games as a form of art. Just ended, Sungwon Kim. We're often a Korean artist living in Honolulu at the moment. It's a collaboration with the Van Abbe Museum in Eindhoven. This just shows that we are also doing major solo representation next to group shows, and an exhibition which is also more turned into a platform, fellow travelers, art as a tool to change the world, because this is what we are also discussing today. What is the effect of art to society? How could also art be a tool maybe to improve society, to give, to empower people? And this, of course, this exhibition is very closely also developed with Tania Bruguera and the Fondazione di Arte Utile, where also the notion of the usefulness of art is in the center. Other works, of course, Daniel Kanogar, we just did a smaller scale exhibition, but also with generative artworks, which we are constantly working, and I'm just have to correct one of our previous speakers from the Centre Pompidou, because already in 2017 we started to collect NFTs at the ZKM, and we're probably one of the first to exhibit, and also of course facing all difficulties with those, even being in the New York Times as the German museum who burned NFTs worth $200,000, but this was just a copy and paste mistake. So this is really something we need to face. New technologies have new ways of preserving them, and sometimes you do also mistakes if you are avant-garde in a way. That's also a previous exhibition, I tell you, you tell me, about artificial intelligence and the encounters of humans and machines, together with Anyuki Jordan, and Robot Lab collective, also very much associated since 20 years to the ZKM, as they work with robotics since then, and even, and this is a nice circle again, the enterprise KUKA, one of the famous producers of robots. They have their former site was the munition factory, because they came out of this this company which produced weapons in our building. So also this is a little bit coming home for robots, and this is an installation by the choreographer William Forsythe, Black Flags, where we also used also the atriums, which the ZKM is very known for, that we can show large-scale installations. What are we also doing? It's a lot of festivals and conference. Like now, today, we are doing the Reconstructing Harald Bode, a Sinti Lovers Festival about early electronic music, and because also we the outreach in our archive, for our archives, and also for to the public with scientific symposiums in conference. It's very, very important. And of course, the mediation, it's and the literacy of the audiences to engage with new technologies are also very, very important. Like Picasso soon with the work of a skilled people building a new robot. But we are in fact founded not, as I said, as a museum, but as a place also to experiment and to produce art with new media art with new tools. So we are still hosting a production site, making us also very close to C-Lab and other institutions more based on the development and the research of media art. So we are working with guests, artists, residents, but also with artists employed at the ZKM to produce new artworks with new technological possibilities. We have also a music and sound program doing concerts and of course all with electronic music. What is also the ZKM? It's their publications. You see this, often they are 500 pages or more. Mostly we are publishing in English, often with MIT Press. I mean, of course, this was still also by our former director, Peter Weibel, who was a man of books, you could say. So we concentrated also on the medium of the books as a research tool, that we are never doing exhibition catalogs. We are more often publishing very well researched publications, which then become also or circulate among universities and libraries. Our collection and archives, it's a growing field, I would say. Especially the archives become more and more important to us, as this first generation of media artists are also in a very critical situation, because it's not works which are so commercially interesting often that galleries take over estates. So we are approached by many families, or if a media artist passed away, of course, also relatives have the problematics that they don't know how to deal with the estate, so we are also one of the places which to take over and take care for those. So those can be paper archives, but also we have a whole studio, the Laboratory of Antiquated Video Systems. Probably we are one of the centers in the world to digitize video art. This came also out of exhibitions we did, but then we were approached by artists and with the problematics that they can't access anymore their archives. So we founded that lab and built an expertise, which is of course also now, we all need to work together. So we are also, we work together with the Centre Pompidou to digitize their archives, with the MoMA, with the MIT, and also often media artists, they give us their archives, we digitize them for free, and we give it back to them, but we become the research rights, so researchers can come to us, and there it's also stored long term, so that we at least can guarantee that this, what is so fragile, media art, digital art, has a place also to be researched in the future. We are, of course, engaged with a lot of international collaborations. This is only the Every Dot is one of the collaborations in the last years. We are locally connected, but also, or locally rooted, but also globally connected. This is something where, of course, it's a struggle of resources. We are city financed and state financed institution. Of course, in the beginning, it was not meant that there would be such an, let's say, international outreach, but this developed over time, and I think it's also about sharing expertise, and expertise especially also in the fields of media art conservation. And media art conservation, maybe we are talking also about this because we have this collection, and with a collection there becomes also the responsibility to preserve it and to keep it alive. Therefore you have to investigate in that, and to become also as an institution to share knowledge. And and this is also my closing slide, what we are calling it now, the ZKM, I said we are not a museum, but we are more defining ourselves now as a museum. We want to, of course, engage more with interlocal communities and serve the social good, but also, of course, this what we heard before, of course, the ecological footprint in curating, the green curating, it's a very big issue for us. The accessibility, of course, this is a topic where we also need to improve. We have a lot of blind spots in our collections and the exhibitions which we have done. This is something we are now, of course, more and more engaged with. All this what we are doing should be open source. This is our ambitions, that we are sharing and not hiding our knowledge. We need to be more diverse, but still what we want to keep and what we also are proud of is that we are a home for artists. We are there for the audience, but we are also very close to the artists, and many artists are also handing over their works to us because there is a relation of trust. And media art, of course, it's not this area where a lot of collectors are selling and preserving the works. It's also, we heard Ars Electronica is showing the newest media arts, which can only be 2 years old, but what is happening with all the media art afterwards? Where is it stored? Where is it looked after? We call it our cybernetic zoo. And that brings a lot of challenges, and I think we have time to discuss this also tomorrow. So, thank you very much, and I'll hand over to the Q&A.